So now that we've gone over a slip stitch and how to do a chain, the next step is to do a single crochet. That's the first stitch that you'll learn when you crochet. I'm going to chain 11 stitches. The reason why 11, I'm going to work over 10 stitches, and for some reason on patterns they always have you do an extra chain or an extra stitch before you do the actual pattern. I don't write patterns, so I don't know why. At this time I can't answer that. I just know that that's how most patterns are written. So I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So now I have 11 chains, and I want to go into the second chain from the hook. So you don't count the loop that's on there. So that's the first one, and that's the second one. So I'm going to put my hook into that chain. Now, for the purpose of this video and for the purpose of just teaching you single crochet, it does not matter what part of the loops you put your hook in. There are different patterns that will tell you how to go in. For instance, if you turn it over, you'll see these loops on the back, and it'll say that you want to crochet into the bump, not necessarily into the loops, or it'll tell you to go under both loops. But for just very beginning, it honestly does not matter, and the whole purpose is to teach you single crochet. So we're going to go into that second stitch from the hook. So now we have 2 loops on, but we're only going to pull through just this one to begin with. Now that we have 2 loops again, we pull that one. Now we're going to pull through, and that is our first single crochet. So again, go through, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both loops. Go through the next one, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, and go through both loops. Go through, yarn over, go through both loops. Through this stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, go through both loops. And be careful that you don't split your yarn. Go through the next one, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, go through both loops. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through both loops. I'm going to go a little bit faster now just to get us to the last couple. Through and okay. So now that we're at the end, what again most patterns will have you do, it'll say chain 1 and turn. So again, you're going to chain the same way that you did before, yarn over and pull through, and now you're going to turn and you're going to work back in the opposite direction. When you turn over your crochet, you'll see these V's on the top, and that's what you're crocheting into. So if you count them, you'll see we should have 10 V's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then this extra one here is my yarn over. My chain 1, I'm sorry. This is my chain 1. This does not count. We're not crocheting into that. That's just to get us to the height of where we need to go. So we're going to go under the 2 loops, under that V, yarn over, pull up a loop, and now we have 2 loops on the hook, and pull through both loops. Go into the next one, under the V, yarn over, and pull through both. Into the next stitch, pull through both. Go into the next V, yarn over, pull through both loops. Into the next, pull through both loops. Go under the next V, yarn over, pull through both loops. And you're going to continue this across the whole row. And this is your single crochet stitch. Go through under the V, both stitches. And through both. And then you'll get to your last stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then again you'll probably see where it'll say to chain one and turn. Before we do that chain one and turn, let's look, and we should still have 10 stitches. It is a good habit to get into to count your stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to chain one, and we're already turned, so I just did the chain one. And then you're just going to do the same thing again. You're going to go under, pull up 2, and go through both. And split the yarn, Sharon. Come on. There we go. And then under both, pull up, and go through both. Under both loops, through, and both. And that is your single crochet stitch, and you'll do that all the way across. And if you do end up putting in extra stitches, you can get a yarn marker. I will get, not a yarn marker, a stitch marker. I will get a stitch marker and I will show you what that looks like. Hang on one second. Okay, so these are stitch markers. They come in different colors. Color does not matter. You might want to have different colors for marking different things as you get more experience, but they're like a little paper clip, and what you can do is put that onto your last stitch, and then even put one onto your first stitch. So as you're going along, it will help you to keep track of how many stitches you have so that your project doesn't grow into a wonky shape. So as you go along, you'll know how many stitches you have based on that. If you're doing a large project, if you have, let's say, 100 stitches, you might want to mark every 10 stitches just to make sure that you're not adding any stitches as you go. That large hooded dog blanket that I made, I put yarn markers, stitch markers every 10 stitches so that I could keep track and make sure that I wasn't adding anything on. So I'll just take it off for the last one. And I did split my yarn on this one, so it's going to be a little bit harder to get through. And now this is going to become our first stitch of our next row, but I'm going to mark it anyway. And then I would do my chain one and turn. And now I'll know, okay, that's my first stitch there, not my yarn over. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section and I will get back to you with an answer. I hope that helped you, and that is how you do single crochet. Thanks so much for coming. Please make sure that you hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you again. Bye-bye.